Power, greed, and corruption. A dangerous combination, a deadly one. It's this combination that sets our story in motion. One man's obsession turns to thoughts of genocide, and one woman takes it upon herself to make a stand. The following story is true and has only been edited for time. Contained within is footage of reenactments, which are just that, reenactments. Through various means and underhanded deals, the footage has been obtained by hidden cameras and closed-circuit television. All of it. You can trust me. After all, I have a lovely voice. This is how we remember it. The story behind the true story. Our story begins with King Xerxes having one of his many infamous celebrations. The official palace band, a staple at these events, recalls their memories of the proceedings.
Man, this is an awesome party. You know, I remember back when we were in Tajikistan, when we just started out playing in backwater towns and bars. Finally moved up to Babylon, playing in the back city, and Vashti came over and checked us out. Haman was back there in the corner. Ever since then, we've been playing the castle up here at Shushan. Man, this is a good gig. I don't know how we got here with all this good food and stuff, but oh man, this is some of the best pork barbecue you ever had.
Good. The food was great. I'm not the king's top chef for nothing.
But where was the queen?
I'll tell you something about Queen Vashti. She got a bum rap. She really did. I mean, she had her customs, and her custom said, you don't go flaunt yourself. You know, she was beautiful. Oh, she's a really beautiful woman. But when the king was having this huge celebration that he had, I mean, it was going on all these days and all these nights. And so he called her to come out there in front of all of these men to flaunt her beauty. Now, there were two groups of us in the room. One group said, you've got to go out there because the king has ordered you to do it. And then the other group said, you don't want to go out there. That's scary. I mean, these men have been, drinking all this time.
Excuse me? Do you remember who I am? I am Queen Vashti. And this is my afternoon tea. I don't have time to deal with the king and his parties. And, the parties, they last forever. They last for weeks on end, and they just get loud and rowdy, and, give me my wonderful, wonderful tea anytime. Except for this tea, what? Is it so hard to steep tea at 205 degrees? I mean, why can't you get this right? It's 205 degrees for black tea. I'm drinking black tea, so it should be steeped at 205. This was clearly done at a much higher level of like 208 degrees. It's unacceptable. I mean, for just once, I wish I could have a nice tea time without being interrupted with summonses from the king, and my tea's messed up, and I'm relaxing. This is relaxing time for me.
Yeah, Queen Vashti, she was in rare form that day.
I just get so aggravated that the king just thinks he can just summons me like some doll so I can show off my beauty to all of his friends. I mean, I'm not just going to drop what I'm doing and come to his every realm and just prance around like his little trophy wife so all of his friends can just, ooh and ah. And I mean, I know I'm beautiful, but do you have to interrupt my tea? I just want to sit down with a nice cup of tea and just enjoy my time. I need my time, and I don't need to be bothered with the king summoning me. I mean, I just want to enjoy my tea. That's just tea. So no, I won't be going to the king.
News of Vashti's refusal to appear at the banquet soon reached the king's ears, and he was far from pleased.
hear a yell. I hear a yell from the hall. My soufflés, they fall. My soufflés, my prize soufflés, my dessert, my pièce de résistance for the banquet. It falls because the king is yelling, Vashti, Vashti. Well, what about Vashti? Well, she doesn't want to come to the banquet prepared by the king's chief chef. She doesn't come. He's yelling, come get her, get that woman, and she doesn't come. What am I to do with my desserts?
Well, I know that he called for his old lady, the queen.
And why didn't Vashti come to this gig tonight, man? How's she dissing the king like you?
I don't know. You think that Xerxes would keep his woman in line?
Upon the suggestion of his officials, King Xerxes finally agrees to begin the search for a new wife. Notification emails and news articles soon went viral, and women from all over the kingdom were soon submitting their applications, and palace officials were beginning the process of narrowing down the choices. To whom it may concern, greetings. His Royal Highness Xerxes has declared the search for a new queen. If interested in putting yourself in for the selection process, please fill out and submit the attached form with a recent photograph of yourself. Thank you and good luck. Sincerely, representatives of His Royal Highness King Xerxes.
My name is Bessie Mae Numchuck, and I got something to say about this here contest. Hold that baby girl. Now, I want to tell you about my baby. All right, now, Bobby Joe, contestant number 9, is the true winner, you understand? Yes, she is. I've always known she was a winner. Well, when she was a little baby girl, she colored her mama this little sheep. Where's that little picture of that sheep? Come. Oh, let me show you that. Oh, come on, baby doll. I got to show. Look at this. Look at this. Isn't that precious? Now, you know what makes it special? Bobby Joe collected all the lint from her belly button, and she glued it on this little sheet for her mama.
Now, Mama, you know that wasn't necessary.
Oh, I'm just so proud. I knew then she was something special. And so then, when she got a little older, this child loved watermelon. Oh, she could eat some watermelon now.
I'm allergic to watermelon.
You know all those watermelons we grew, but you enjoyed them. And let me tell you, she would get to the point where she'd collect all these watermelon seeds in her mouth, and she'd spit them out, and she'd hit the wind chimes hanging on the back porch, and she'd play a tune. She got really good. Stand up here and tell them about it, Daddy.
No.
Well, let me just tell you. So she would spit those seeds out from that, hit that wind chime, and when she did, there's just nothing like sitting on the back porch and listening to Bobby Joe spitting out dueling banjos on those wind chimes.
And people wonder why I run away.
Oh, and she's got such a sense of humor. And so then, when she got a little older and she was in high school, well, she won a contest. Show them your sash, darling. Show them your Miss Sweet Potato Patch. And you know how she won? She tap danced her way to victory while playing her baton. She twirled her baton and tapped. I was just so proud of her, and I knew my Bobby Joe is a true winner. So I heard about this here contest, and I said, now Bobby Joe, I want you to go on down to the creek and get all cleaned up pretty, because honey child, we're going to get you a man.
About time.
She said, oh, Mama. So she went on down the creek, and she can put some of those flowers all in her hair, you know, but there wasn't any flowers down there at the creek this time of year. But she found the beautiful ivy and decorated her hair so pretty. But then she commenced itching. And she said, Mama, I'm just itching all over. And I said, well, Bob Joe, let me look at you, darling. And I started looking, and I said, oh, honey, child, you done put poison ivy in your hair. And she said, oh, Mama, what am I going to do? She'd already fixed her hair. And she looked so nice in a pretty dress. And I said, that's okay, darling. You know that your mama is a woman prepared. So I reached into my trusty bosom and I pulled out my anti-itchy pills. And I gave her an anti-itchy pill. And she said, you sure it's going to be okay, Mama? I said, it's going to be fine. She said, but Mama, I'm itching real bad. And I said, well, here, take a couple more, darling. That'll make you stop itching. And so she took 2 more. And so then in a little while, it's about time for her to go back there to the back. And she said, Mama, I am just so sleepy. I don't know what to do. And I said, sleepy? And I looked at my anti-itchy pills. And I said, oh, Bobby Joe, it says warning. Don't take more than 1 anti-itchy pill or it'll make you real sleepy. And she said, Mama, what am I going to do? I said, now, it's going to be all right. You just go on back there to the powder room, and you just take some cold water and you splash it in your face. That'll wake you up. And I said, now, be sure and do your business now because you don't want to have to go when you're out there on the platform. And she said, okay, Mama. So she went on back there. And when she did, they called her name, and here she came out, and nobody told my Bobby Joe that the coattail of her dress had done got caught up in her pantyhose. Oh, bless her heart. And so she came out on stage, and when she did, she stood there not even feeling the cool draft from the backside. And she stood there, and she just started to go to sleep. And I thought, oh, no, Bobby Joe, say something, do something, girl. And so when that happened, she started to tilt, and the whole audience went, oh, and gasped. And just as she was about to fall, she grabbed hold of the stick on the side of the stage, and something triggered in Bobby Joe. She began to tap dance and twirl that stick like it was her baton, and the crowd started cheering, and then she started grinning, and she whirled around not knowing that her dress was giving a peekaboo. And so when she did, the crowd started cheering even more, and that's when she won Miss Congeniality. And we're so proud. Miss Congeniality. But then, they lined up everybody, and they said, all right, all you contestants, I'm going to call the name of the winner. When they call the name of the winner, did they call Bobby Joe? I asked you, did they call Bobby Joe? No, they didn't. They called some city slicker. Probably hadn't never skinned a hog a day in her life. She's no winner, but Bobby Joe's the winner. Do you hear me? But Bobby Joe's the winner. Bobby Joe is the winner!
But Ms. Numchuck wasn't the only one disgruntled over the results of the contest. The Walker family had a few choice words to say as well.
You want to come out for an interview? I heard you were a contestant.
I have nothing to do with that lime plant. You can leave. Get out! All right, is there any money? Is it $1 okay? Only singles.
Singles, we got places to be that need singles. So is that, we go now, that's recording. Now, do we look at you, or you?
Is it going now?
Are you going to count us down? It's going to be like 3, 2, 1.
And then you say go?
Or then
Hey,
3,
hey,
2, 1, then
So
go.
they're going. I think they're going.
Let's go. Well, my name is Josephus. This is my sister Josephine, and this is our cousin Joe. So we're here to understand that this picture of beauty and joy and a heck of a kisser, I would know that she did not get picked to be the queen of our fair country. I mean, look at this face. Look at her. They're engaged. I mean, look at this face. Look at this. Look at her. Don't cry, baby. Don't cry. It's okay.
Just upset.
It's okay. Y'all have to excuse her. She's real emotional.
He's my second choice.
Well, you know, second. Most of the time, second's the first loser. But hey, second better than none.
In this case, the first is the first loser.
First is the first loser. I mean, did you see the nose on that girl that actually got picked? Good Lord.
My nose is perfectly fine.
Her nose. Look at this face. Nose. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
And again, it does not get in the way when you were kissing.
Well, I don't know what other women have to offer because I know what I have to offer.
I do know what some of them have to offer.
I have hip gyrations. I have them
Tell them about the hip.
clearly.
Gyration.
Clearly. One of my hips, it gyrates.
Don't cry, baby. Don't cry.
I went to Jefferson State.
The one gyrates and the other one stays stationary.
I'm smart. I finished Jefferson State.
What's that book you read?
That's a reputable college.
That book?
Yeah, what's that book they had
That
you
was
read?
17 magazine.
17, not 1 through 16, 17.
I finished the whole thing. Even the documentaries.
I like the advertisements.
They call it adverts in England. But yes, I don't understand what those other women had to do with myself. I stand out among the rest. My nose is perfect. Those other ladies don't know. They don't have the hip gyration. They don't have it.
Good
Have
Lord.
it.
Did the camera pick that up?
Did you see it?
Did y'all see that?
Did you see it?
We got it.
It might have missed the gyration real quick.
A perfect 90-degree angle.
Where are you making from?
From right there in the hip joint.
But that is okay because this is my beloved, my secondary beloved. The king would have been
Number
nice,
two's the winner.
but he's the top squirrel hunter in our county.
Yes, that he is.
And he
I
will feed
debate
our
his
babies.
orientation, if you know what I mean.
He will feed our babies.
What?
The top squirrel meat in all of the county.
Now, did you
I get a squirrel now. I
You
get a
got them,
squirrel.
get them squirrels. What'd you say about who?
I got to orientate them.
The orientating. Orientating.
It's their loss and my win. Although I could have made it any other way, but she was kind of desperate after that. She was in a low place, and
I was in
And
a low
I
place.
picked her up. I was
He picked me up. He was the wind beneath my wings.
the right place at the right time situation. So, sometimes you just get a lucky break, and I got a lucky break. I've been waiting for it.
It's never luckier than when a heart is broken. Yes! Yes! Get it! Get it! Do you see it? Do you see it? That's number one. You ain't gonna find better action than that. I don't care if you live in a palace or a trailer or anywhere else. You line them all up, top and bottom.
Love is love.
Love is love.
It doesn't matter whether you live in a trailer or if you live in that palace. Love is love. Is it on? Are you sure it's on? I don't want to do this again. Well, Esther. Esther? Is that it? I don't know. I don't remember her name, but everybody took a liking to her. She seemed to be very pretty, very precise-like. Her nails were done. Her hair was did. But she was beautiful, and all the rest of us dams had to put on our makeups and our clothes, and we strutted around like medieval women with our bosoms high in our necks. Otherwise, it was an awful sight. Women think that they're beautiful, and they are not. I was the only true beauty. The other women were fake and false prophetess. But back on Esther, her metabolism was very high. She was very thin, but I don't know what means she got thinner. I don't know. I can't say. I know what means I used, but yeah, she was real thin. She was pretty, but I'm prettier. I believe in myself. I am every woman, and it is all in me. But otherwise, I hate Esther. And she can just go run off of a bridge. But
How good she's going. You would think she was smart enough to realize that poison ivy can actually harm you. But Esther, she was a nice girl. I really liked her. Me and her talked when we got our nails done, our hair done. She was the sweetest person I ever met. I don't know, but there's something she's hiding from all of us. I don't know what it is, but it's just something. I don't know. She really deserved it. She really did. I don't know. But that dress looked really pretty on her too.
Despite the king's newfound happiness with his new queen, things weren't all happy at the palace. Whispers of plots were being heard over the grounds, and a new character was suddenly brought into play. Rob Granger, head gardener for the palace, happened to overhear a good bit of the goings-on at the front gate.
Well, I was out there by the lilies. Man, Esther loves them lilies. Just pulling out the weeds, making sure they were watered. When lo and behold, I hear a little plot going on. Not really sure what all was being said. Something about poison, king, whatever. It ain't my place to say. But I see Mordecai over there. He seems to have gotten a better grasp of what was being said. And he meets Esther out there. She came out to look at them lilies. Yeah, been taking good care of them lilies. They're beautiful this year. But anyhow, he tells her something probably about that plot, and she goes in and stops it. I'm not real sure what all, but man, was she happy them lilies were okay.
Hey Esther.
Hey Uncle Mordecai. What's up?
Just chilling on the couch. How's my favorite niece?
Oh, you know. Same old stuff. Bought a new handbag. That was exciting. Anything new?
A little while ago I got up from holding the couch down and went for a walk. And at the big gate, I overheard these two goofy-looking guards talking about taking the king out permanently.
What? I'm going to let the king know right now. The clock was stopped. Good job.
My name is Lawrence. I'm an official of the king and personal friend of Haman. All hail Haman. He's our highest official. He was exalted by the king above all others. Not quite as high as the king himself, but he's pretty special. Top-notch guy. There's this fellow named Mordecai, though, that whenever we go out into the street and come near the city gate, he's just obstinate. He does nothing. He doesn't pay attention. He doesn't even look Haman's way. And that's not acceptable. We can't have that. So I went and spoke to Mr. Haman. I said, hey, we know this fellow is a Jew. I would be willing to bet that the rest of his people don't honor you as he does. Not sure, but it's a good chance. Something needs to be done about this. This can't be tolerated. Just can't be. They at least need a good talking to.
That Haman feller, that guy, man, I don't know what got him so hopping mad about Mordecai, but he came storming through the garden, ruined my freshly planted begonias. It took me 3 hours to get them things into the ground. Gonna make sure he doesn't do that again. Gonna put up little ropes, little pretty ropes. Gonna put up the fence. And next time there's gonna be a keep off the begonia sign.
After Haman had sufficiently trampled the begonias, he stormed into his office to brood.
Well, I'm here to tell you, a person can learn a lot about this place from the job I've got, cleaning rooms in this palace like I have to do. And boy, these last few weeks, I have learned some interesting things. I could tell you lots and lots of secrets. Wait a minute, first of all, let me check. These walls have ears, and I ought to know that. Because, don't say I'm getting paranoid. I'm not paranoid. You know what they say, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean people aren't talking about you. You have to be careful. And hey, I've got to keep my head about me, but I will let you know some interesting things I found out. I was cleaning the other day around the king's office, and guess who walked in? It was Haman. And Haman was livid. I have never seen him so upset. So he started telling the king all about things that were going on in his kingdom that he didn't know about. He said, there's a group in your kingdom who will not obey your decrees. And they're a separate group. And they just do not listen to anything you tell them to do. Now, to be honest with you, I think that Haman was more upset for himself than for the king. Because there's this guy in the kingdom called Mordecai. And Mordecai will not bow down to Haman, which Haman expects everybody in the kingdom to do. So I think he's more upset for himself. But he got the king all upset. And the king joined in with him. The king took off his ring, gave it to Haman, gave him money, and told him to do whatever he had to do to take care of the situation. And I saw Haman when he left. He had this smirk on his face. I thought, wow, he's going to see what he can do to get this poor man, Mordecai. Really, really bothered me. All I can say is, these are troubling times in the kingdom.
To whom it may concern, by order of Haman, representative of the royal family, all of the Jews are to be killed on the 13th of Adar. No specific means of annihilation, just kill them. Thank you for your cooperation, representatives of Haman the Magnificent.
I have also heard through the grapevine that some lowlife named Haman is plotting to kill our people, the Jews.
OMG, are you serious? What are we going to do?
As serious as I can be. I believe it is for such a time as this that you have been placed where you are to help save our people. Go to the king and tell him everything. He will listen to you.
Okay, I'll go tell the king. In the meantime, have all of the Jews fast and pray for 3 days.
It will be done, as you have said, Esther.
Of course it will.
Oh my goodness.
We was coming in for brunch yesterday morning, and we came into the city gates, and there was this guy. Like, he's sitting there, and he started tearing his clothes off. It was crazy.
He said he put on a sackcloth of all things. Can you believe that?
Yeah, he was trying to put that on like it was silk, not sackcloth, man.
Don't nobody look good in no sackcloth.
Nobody. He started throwing ashes all up on himself, like that was gonna help with it, and it was horrible.
Oh, no.
Just not good. He looked like a crazy person.
He did.
I thought we were gonna be attacked. I was getting ready, man. I was gonna pop this guy, but
got so mad that it looked like he was gonna punch his teeth in.
Yeah,
it was awful.
It was all good though. We handled it. It was okay. We went on about our business and just left that guy there in his ashes.
All right, well, we need to get a good spot here before the crowd starts getting. Now, who am I? Let me introduce myself to you. These good people of this country, my name is Dr. Dan. I do not have a BS, well, we all know what that stands for. I don't have an MS, why that just means more of the same. I don't even have a PhD, why that just means piled higher and deeper, no sir. I gave up on the halls of academia years ago, and that is to serve the higher purpose, and that is to share with the good people of this country my wonderful product, which is Dr. Dan's Ancient Indian Elixir. Now folks, no medicine show would be complete without a genuine, authentic, made in American, full-blooded Indian. This savage creature right here is my assisted little kicking mule. Why, if you knew her, you'd understand why we call her Little Kicking Mule. Now, how I got the recipe, you see, my great-grandfather was a genuine medicine man, full-blooded Indian for the Cockatoo tribe. You see, I got it on his deathbed, had to dig around for about an hour before I found it, but I found it, and I'm here to share with you good people today. I saw a homeless man, and he was creating quite a stir. He was filthy and dressed in rags. Why, I pride myself on being impeccably dressed, but it's not my place to judge. And it occurred to me that here was a man in need of Dr. Dan's Ancient Indian Elixir. Why, just the other day, a young woman came to me who was suffering from such dreaded diseases as Count Choculatus. Why, just polishing off one bottle of Dr. Dan's Ancient Indian Elixir, and she had a song on her lips and a spring in her step. Why, later I noticed that shabbily dressed fellow's ailment had become an epidemic. It was a curious affliction. It only afflicted the Jews. Why, you'd have thought that the king wanted them dead. With just one proper dose of Dr. Dan's Ancient Indian Elixir, they'd all be just as right as rain. Now you're thinking to yourself, Dr. Dan, what a wonderful product. I want some, but what does it do? Dr. Dan's Ancient Indian Elixir is a hair restorer. It's a rejuvenator. It adds glamour to your glimmer, puts a spring in your step, and a song in your heart. You, sir, you right there. Don't you need some of this hair?
No, Jack, I don't want that, Joe.
Dr. Dan's Ancient Indian Elixir also cures such dreaded diseases as from bulgulating eyeballitis, cataleptic neuroplexy, as well as such diseases as hot dog fingers. I'm Captain Jack Stubborn. I just arrived in port after several months at sea, where I not only lost my ship to mutiny, I was marooned not once, but twice on a deserted island. The second time, the pyromaniac crazy woman. I was hounded and chased by Davy Jones and the Flying Dutchman. And if that wasn't bad enough, I was eaten by the Kraken. After all that, I finally made it back to port. What does any good pirate with the salt do when he gets back to port? I shall tell you. He heads to his favorite deadly and grog shop for a bite and a pint. So what do I find when I go to buy? They're closed and locked in the middle of the day. Why? This crazy, scurvy bilge rat named Mordecai and his pack of scallywags, the Jews, on a 3-day fast. Sorry, mate.
I can't believe they're closed.
They're closed.
They're closed. They have the best Ruby sandwich in the world, and they're closed. I'm waiting all week long to come
I know.
over here.
Here's how about my quarter. That's where I go.
Oh, man. Let's go find something to eat.
We have to. 13 men dead in man's chest. Go whole of it. Why is the rock always gone?
Queen Esther gave much thought to what she was going to do to approach this delicate situation. Finally, an idea came to her, and she proposed to have a banquet with her husband and Haman as the special guests. Haman in particular found the situation most appealing and considered it an extra boost in his political career. The king, of course, was thrilled that his wife wanted to throw a party in general.
And the new queen, she requests a banquet. With less than 24 hours notice? Really?
Oh my gosh, let me tell you, we were at, like, I don't know if it was a parade or not, but, you know, Haman was there. I'm sorry, Haman was there. I love him, and he loves me. I know he loves me because my hair's like his favorite color, like pink-alicious. But anyway, we were at this thing, and then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened, but Haman got like furious, and I think it had to do with some guy in the audience that was not showing him the respect that he deserved. I mean, Haman is awesome. I don't know how you don't just bow like in his presence because he's totally rad. And so this doofus was like not doing like anything. He's just like standing there, and Haman walks by, and I'm Haman because he's great. And he just didn't bow. And then Haman, he got mad, and it broke my heart because I don't like to see Haman upset. Go ahead.
But he got it under control so fast.
He did.
I mean, he just
totally
like
did.
was in the zone. He did. Yeah. It was the most.
Yeah, we were walking down the sidewalk and looking for some dinner. It's getting late, we're a little hungry, and we see this guy come out of the palace, and he's all happy and stuff. He's like, hey, maybe they got some good food over there. So we start watching him, and he sees this guy, the dude that was in the ashes and the sackcloth, and he gets real angry. It looked like he owed him money or something.
He looked like he was bipolar.
I mean,
His
dude
attitude
just
changed just
snapped,
like that.
man. It's like instant. He saw this guy and just started looking like he was gonna go off, but he pulled it together though. It was impressive. He got back straight and went on about his business and left the dude sitting there. Just didn't even mess with him. It's weird, man. People are just crazy around here.
Amidst the excess and frivolity of Queen Esther's party, she approached her husband a second time. She invited King Xerxes and Haman to yet another celebration scheduled for the following evening. The king and his official both readily agreed, and preparations were underway.
Another banquet? I just gave my kitchen help the night off, and I'm supposed to prepare another banquet.
It's just show after show, man. I mean, they keep asking us to play and play. I'm kind of getting tired, but they throw down hard. But
Just interrupt us in the middle of the set. That's kind of wild.
no, I like the interruptions, man. I mean, it makes the show interesting, I like guy interrupts us. He wants to come play harmonica with us or something. That's pretty sweet.
I remember when that happened.
Are you sure that they can't see my face, right? It's really important. So I worked for Haman for about 8 years. Everybody thinks like it was bad working for Haman, but I didn't think it was all that bad. It was just a job. I did work and he paid me, and that was fine. Like, who wants to hang out with their boss anyway? So I worked around the house, I cleaned a lot, and I did filing and things. I just did whatever they asked me to do, It was a good job for a girl who, doesn't really have any skills. I have skills, just not, the kind you put on a resume or anything. Haman was always bragging. He was always just talking about how rich he was and like all his sons and all the king liked him, and he was he just thought he was hot stuff, and which is why he had all these people around him like waiting on him hand and foot all the time. And so he just mainly talked about all the banquets that they had, and when Esther threw him this banquet, talked about this banquet, he was just elated. I think that's probably the nicest he's ever been as an employer. I mean, it's not like I was eavesdropping. He's just very loud. He's very, I try not to eavesdrop. It's not really part of my job. But yeah, so he was very, he was very happy about the banquet. So, yeah, there. But that was when it went, really, really downhill. He started getting really scary after that. He started getting really, it doesn't matter about the banquets or anything, nothing made him happy because Mordecai was sitting out there and he wouldn't bow. And, I think it's mostly ego, but, I'm not a head shrink or anything. But it really started to get scary around the household. There was more and more yelling and more secret meetings. And then, of course, he started having more and more just, conversations with his wife. And, she got really, really far into it. And, I was cleaning one day and, I overhear, him and his wife talking, and she's like, Zeresh is like, I think you should kill Mordecai, and that was just too far. That was just too much. I stopped working for him after that. So. You're sure they can't see my face, though, right? Okay, all right.
One evening, the king couldn't sleep, and I was called into his chambers. He wanted me to bring him the book of the record of his reign, so I could recount the glories of his reign to him, to lull him back off into slumber. And we came across a story of where Mordecai had uncovered a plot to kill the king. It was a dastardly plot, just horrible. And the king asked me, was there anything ever done for this man that has protected me and spared my life, continued my reign? I said, well, come to think of it, no. Nothing's ever been done for this man. So, well, we just can't have that. Something needs to be done for this man. So we decided to pay him honor.
Okay, so another thing that I saw when I was cleaning, the king asked Haman to come into his presence. He wanted to talk to him. Boy, I wish you could have seen Haman when he came in. I mean, he was strutting. He really was. And I think he thought, boy, I've just done something great. I'm going to get this wonderful reward. And so I could hear him just muttering under his breath, what should be done for the man who's doing this wonderful thing? That's what he wanted to know. And I think he really thought he had done something great and he was going to be rewarded for it.
But it seems that Haman's ego was in store for a massive blow when things didn't turn out in the way that he had hoped. Instead of the king choosing to honor him, it was Mordecai that received all of the accolade. This only served to fuel the fire of Haman's hate, though he brooded in apparent silence and waited.
Why, weeks later, that shabbily dressed fellow was much improved. Because of Dr. Dan's ancient Indian elixir, he was being honored by the king. Because of Dr. Dan's ancient Indian elixir, you too can be honored by the king.
Yeah, so we was going out for some coffee.
we finished up our brunch, and
I just love a good latte.
Lattes are fabulous, man. They're great. Who's this guy?
What's this?
But yeah, we were going to get some coffee, and we were trying to go around the block, and all of a sudden there's a parade. And this place is just nuts. It was a parade.
It was so crazy.
We got lost a little bit. Had to go around a couple blocks, and just didn't know what to do.
Somebody got us lost.
Yeah, got us lost.
You should stop and ask for directions.
Yeah, at least we wouldn't wander around for 40 years.
Don't you start on the Jews. My mother told me to marry a nice Jewish boy, and I didn't. I should have
You
listened
and
to
your
my mother.
mother. You and your
Don't
mother.
start with me. Don't start with me.
Yeah. So anyways, we see this parade, and this guy comes through on a horse. They got him dressed up like he's a king or something. And there's a guy running around in front of him. He's saying, "This is what the king does for the man he desires to honor." He kept on repeating it like it's his mantra or something. It's just crazy.
But the guy that was leading him on the horse, he looked so mad. I don't know what is wrong with that guy.
I think it was the same guy that came out and he was mad at. That was the dude in the ashes that was on the horse.
Oh my goodness.
This place is just nuts.
Oh,
it's crazy.
You got to take me back home.
Yeah, we got to go. We got to get out of here. This is nuts. Come on, baby. Let's get out of here.
It was really kind of sad. You could tell it just broke Haman's heart, and it's being just totally in love with everything to do about Haman. It was just awful to watch him as he went through that experience of having to take this guy who obviously does not like him. And it was really more than we could hardly even bear to watch.
But even still, he was so just classy through the whole thing. Just his suit. Did you see how well that suit fit him? Yeah, totally awesome. I found a copy of that scarf that he was wearing.
Oh my gosh, you did not.
I did.
You did not.
I did.
You did not.
I bought it.
Oh, no, I hate you.
Love me.
What was the question?
I don't know. I kind of got distracted by his suit.
Haman's awesome.
He was awesome.
He's like totally awesome. I don't know what the question was, but he's totally awesome.
The fangirls went all a-Twitter again when Haman returned to the palace for a second banquet.
Oh, the second banquet. Oh, yeah, he was like, he thought, how much can, one person be honored? Like, he was very excited about that. Like, he was very loud about that one. Yeah, but I mean, he was, he just really thought that, he was something. And his wife kind of had the same attitude, But you work in these houses, you get used to people acting like that. You get used to people, all they want is, for somebody to wait on them and, to act like they're better than them. And, he's probably got more education or something. So he probably is, better than me, or at least can do more things. I don't have any banquets. So, that works.
King Artaxerxes, are you aware that Haman is trying to kill me and all my people?
Trying to kill you?
Yes, I'm Jewish.
No, please. There's still time. I actually have power. I can get you. No, please. Please.
Okay, so then what happened? The king stormed out of the room. At this point, Haman knew now he had really messed up, and he had messed up big. So now he is fearful for his life. So he is now begging Esther to please not kill him. He's just begging for his life.
Yeah, man, the new
Yeah, she had that big bomb she dropped.
Yeah, man, she came in and she was all like,
that was like my mind.
Yeah.
One time I looked at my family tree, got hit in the head with a cougar.
it's just like that. Of course, his family tree is more like a bamboo shoot. But yeah, man, when she came busting up in there, I was like, look, I know.
I know she's a new queen and all, and she's got, stuff to do and call.
Just let him finish, man. Let him finish. He's got it. It's important.
You sit down. It's the drugs.
It's important in his own mind.
Well, and that's the only place that it matters, Well, I guess I'm
Yeah.
here. But I guess it's at her view and her leisure that she, interrupts while we play. And it is important, I guess, because, you don't want the new queen getting murderized by somebody in the government.
After Haman's plot was revealed, the king could not sit idly by. The Jews were given the right to freely arm and defend themselves against those that, still suffering under Haman's delusions, would seek to harm them. As for the mastermind himself, Haman was sentenced to death without any hope of his case being overturned, and his home, assets, and position were completely turned over to Mordecai.
He must have been a complex-minded dude to come up with all that,
How can one man hate so much? A whole group of folks, including the queen.
I mean, he was a cool dude. He knew how to party. He had the money. He had the girls.
Yeah.
You definitely have the girls.
But,
man.
I mean, you can't just let it get ruined like that,
Yeah.
It just wasn't right. It was not right. He did not deserve that. He didn't do anything wrong.
I can't believe that he's gone.
He's not gone. He's not. He's not gone. We can bring him back. We can bring him back. He's not gone.
He was so awesome.
He's still awesome.
He was so amazing.
No, he doesn't. He's mine.
He's mine.
You're mine. No, not love me. No, he love me. He does not. He love me. He love me. It's me.
He was all of us.
As much as me.
Weddings, executions, bar mitzvahs, doesn't matter. Monies are all good.
Now the day that Haman had set aside for the destruction of an entire people had become a day of celebration instead. A people once hunted, now ate and drank in freedom, and remembered how one woman stood in the gap and pled for their lives, saving them for such a time as this.
My name is Josephus. This is my sister Joe. This is our cousin Joe.
Josephine.
I'm sorry.
It's Josephine.
I'm sorry. Cut. Okay, now starting over. Showing them lunges. Them lunges they did. Show them.
Lunges.
The lunge. And then show them the back.
This.
Then show them the back lunge.
The back lunge.
That's the money right there. Put on at least 3 or 4 pounds of healthy fat in the last, 6-7 weeks.
It's the healthiest of fats.
My heart's never felt better. I hear it beating like a stallion in my chest.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, my name is Dr. Dan. Can't even get it right. After some time, I noticed that shabbily dressed fellows ate. Why, just one dose of Dr. Dan's ancient Indian elixir got inflicted the entire city. Why, you'd have thought the king had wanted the entire congregation, the entire city dead. Dr. Dan's ancient Indian elixir, and she had a spring in her step and a song in her heart. Why, later I noticed, I digress. Oh, you've got it right there, okay. All I gotta do is just read it. But what does it do? What does it do? I don't even remember what it does. What does it do? Now you got me all thrown off here. Dr. Dan's ancient Indian elixir is a hair restorer. It's a rejuvenator. Adds glamour to your glimmer. It adds glamour to your glimmer and puts a spring in your step. His epidemic had spread to the entire city. Why, you'd have thought on all my years. I'm a perfectionist.
And you need to know that.
Look who's talking.
Why, weeks later, that shabbily dressed fellow was much improved. Because of Dr. Dan's ancient Indian elixir, he was being honored by the king. What was it? What was the next thought? That's it. That's the end of it. Because of Dr. Dan's ancient Indian elixir, you too can be honored by the king. That's all I got. The only dance I know how to do is ballroom dance. I can't just make stuff up.
Thumbs.
Do you remember Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Exactly. Wayne.
Wayne.
I was just about to say.
I feel like I look like a boy that's trying to look like a girl.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
I won. All right.
It's charging.
Please, you don't have to do this. Now don't take me away. You sniveling worms! I'm gonna get you!
She's just so happy.
This? Oh, yeah, like I said, like I mentioned, my old lady, she told me she was not comfortable with me wearing the name of my ex-girlfriend after we had made our nuptials, and so I had it removed recently. And a funny story, her name was Sarah, but she was actually a professional athlete who worked with animals, and it was really sad. I got the tattoo after Sarah met her untimely demise. If it weren't for that, we would have been together forever. True love. Second cousins, so you know it's all good. But anyway, Sarah, she was a professional athlete, and she liked to work with the animals and everything. And then one day, in a sad turn of events, she was unexpectedly cut down in the prime of her life. And that does happen from time to time with people in the rodeo clown profession. As I'm to understand it, I think that I heard somewhere that behind heart disease and diabetes, that rodeo clown deaths make up for the third largest number of accidental deaths in the United States of America, the good old US of A. The red, white, and blue, number 3 on deaths. Heart disease, diabetes, rodeo clown problems that lead to eventual fatality. So that's what happened.